What's up, guys? It's Flossin, and today I feel like ranting. The other day, I was talking to my best friend about supports and gotchas, and how I honestly just hate them. Not their design or the characters themselves, but the way they're designed in the gameplay sense. They feel like nothing more than stat sticks, and this bugs me because in other games I play, supports are actually really fun. They change the way I think, the way I move, and the way I approach fights. They're not there to hand out free numbers like a coupon at the grocery store. So today, I want to talk about support agents and Zenless, why I understand the way they are but still hate them, showing you an example of what I consider a real support from a different game, and share what I'd like to see from Zenless moving forward. If you find this video informative or just enjoy it at all, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's completely free and lets me know you enjoy this type of content. Now, with formalities out of the way, let's talk games. Well. Since I'm making a video on why I hate support agents, that means I have a valid reason to hate on Astriao. Yes, finally. Anyway, here's my core problem. Supports in Zenless don't feel like characters. They feel like walking spreadsheets. Right now, almost every support kind of boils down to how much attack or crit damage can I give you. It's very predictable, it's very boring. If it's not attack or crit damage, it's either crit rate, defense shred, or maybe even some healing sprinkled in if you're lucky. That's kind of it. That's their identity. It turns team building into a numbers game instead of a creative one. Instead of asking who fits my playstyle, I'm forced to ask who has the biggest buff right now. And honestly, that's the opposite impression I got when I first started playing Zenless. Zenless was supposed to be about creativity, mixing characters with different mechanics. But when supports are reduced to just a numbers game, it starts to make the game feel shallow. And the best way I can explain that is by talking about Lucy. Lucy is one of the few supports that actually feels like she was designed with an identity in mind. She buffs the team's attack, sure, but she also summons 3 boars that attack enemies during the fight. Now, do these boars do crazy damage? No, but they could have built her identity around them, and just having them out on the field makes Lucy fun to play. They give her a different type of vibe during the fight, something that separates her from everyone else. When I have Lucy on my team, I know that this is a support that's participating. She doesn't just buff and then disappear onto the bench. She throws down her 3 animals that run into the fight, and it makes the whole experience a lot more memorable. Unfortunately for Lucy, she's kind of irrelevant compared to Astriao and Yuzuha. Those two come in with huge buffs, basically double her attack buff, and suddenly Lucy goes from this fun identity support to why would I even waste a slot on her? But yes, I get it. S rank agents should be stronger than A ranks, but man, it just kills the creativity of team comps when you know the only reason Lucy loses is because her buff isn't big enough. Not because a kit came out that's cool and intuitive. It just makes her design feel completely wasted. And so maybe that's why when I hop over to a different game like Marvel Rivals, I don't feel this frustration. The supports in that game actually feel very fun to play, and it's why I keep locking them in during every single game. And yes, if you were wondering, I even have my Gunner skin in that game. Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Anyway, in Marvel Rivals, I play a lot of Luna Snow, and I mean a lot. If you know Rivals, you know that Luna Snow is insane, arguably the best support in the game. You essentially have a AoE healing field that keeps your team alive for 10 seconds. You can also switch to damage boosting your team if you no longer feel like they need healing throughout a fight. But this is the thing that most people don't tell you about support. Her real value actually isn't in her ult. Her value comes from her precision playstyle. You're constantly making decisions when you play Luna Snow. Do I track my allies at this point to keep them alive? Do I throw my snowball at enemies to try to cancel their ultimate? Do I use her clap to charge my ult faster? Or do I save it for my allies in trouble? Or even something super small, like do I put my snowflake on my flanker who I can't heal during the fight? It's a constant balance of micro decisions. It's not just sitting there until her ultimate is ready. She's engaging in the fight the entire time. And that's why she feels satisfying. Because when you win a fight with Luna Snow, you know that you played well. You didn't just bring an AoE healing field. And that's really the key difference. In Rivals, a support can feel busted because of skill expression, not just because of bloated numbers. Now, I know that these two games are different. One is a hero shooter, one is a gacha game. Obviously, the practices are going to be completely different. And before I even sound like I'm saying Zenless does nothing right, I will give credit where it's due. And that credit is Yuzuha. Yes, Yuzuha has a standard 1200 attack buff that S-rank supports seem to be stamped with, but she's also really fun. And her Tanuki cloak ability is incredible. You can hold her basic attack at any time you want to parry, refund resources, and then chain it into her assist follow-up for extra damage. That's the kind of mechanic I want supports to have. Something active, something that rewards skill. On paper, it doesn't look like much, but in practice, it's very addictive. This is why I praise Yuzuha so much in my comparison video to Astra Yao. I enjoy running her so much more than Astra that I've replaced her in basically all of my crit-based teams. Why? Again, because Yuzuha feels like I'm playing her, not just slotting her in. And to push that boundary even further, even if she came with a weaker buff than Astra, I still would have pulled Yuzuha. That's just how much her design carries her. And since I'm already comparing to different games, let me bring up Mantis as well in Marvel Rivals. She's considered a support, but she's actually more of a sub DPS. The trade-off for picking her though is you sacrifice healing for damage. And that trade-off is very interesting to me. It forces you to play differently. Forces you to weigh your options. Do you want safety or do you want damage? And if you know what you're doing during team fights, you can tilt the fight in your favor by making the right decisions. That's how you make a support fun. Not by bloating their numbers, but by forcing the player to think. And yeah, if you were wondering as well, I also have the summer skin for Mantis. And the twerking emote. Yep. The Gooner allegations are undefeated. Anyway, my biggest concern is that Zenless is kind of trending towards a stat stick design. Every support agent just feels like they're created to outdo or be on the same level as the last support that came out in terms of raw buffs. And because of that, the advice for every new support agent is always the same. Just pull them, they're broken. That's a problem to me because it kills variety, kills creativity. It just makes supports seem very predictable and very stale. And I bring all of this up now because Lucia is about to drop in 2.3. And I already know my advice is going to be pull her, she's broken. And while that might be technically true, it's not exciting. It's not engaging. It doesn't make me want to play the character. It just makes me feel like I have to. And that's kind of why I hate supports in Zenless. Not because they're weak, but because supports could be so much more than what they are right now. But yeah. I think that's enough yapping out of me. Guys, I hate support agents in Zenless. Not because of their strength, but because of the missed potential. They could be fun, interactive, and rewarding characters. But instead, the devs keep making them into glorified number generators. And that's why I've just kept running my original roster of Lucy, Seth, and even Nicole. And while I know Nicole is a bad example of an intuitive support, she still has cool techs like aiming her orb into the air and dropping it onto enemies. That's still identity, and it makes clearing content a lot more fun. Anyway, I know I've said a lot in this video, and because of that, this whole thing has me really curious. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the philosophy of support agents in Zenless Zone Zero? Do you agree or disagree with my take? And what type of support agents would you like to see in the future of Zenless? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, big shout out to my Discord boosters and YouTube members. You guys are the ones that make these videos possible, so thank you. But until next time, happy gaming, and may your pulls be ever in your favor.